afternoon, everyone. Let me get an Aggie, right? All right, that sounded real good. Welcome back to our weekly Monday press conference. We are coming off of a loss to William and Mary at home on Saturday. This week we head up to the Philadelphia area to take on the Villanova Wildcats. Maybe get some cheesesteaks while we're up there. But in the meantime, our special guest with us, we have our running back, Shamik Blizzard, and our defensive player is Mitchell Etheridge III. And before we bring those guys up, let's bring up our head coach, Mr. Vincent Brown.
Aggie Pride. So, in thinking about this, and I shared this with the staff just a short while ago, that these press conferences become increasingly difficult because of the amount of effort, the blood, sweat, and tears that go into trying to prepare our team, and yet we're coming up on the losing end each and every week. And so as we talk to our team, we try to make sure that they have a great understanding that this is, ultimately we're tasked with winning games, but there's so much more to this. It's about the experience, the opportunity to get a chance to compete each and every Saturday. And we ask them, regardless of who's in the game, that they just give us their absolute best. If they do that, we'll live with the results, win, lose, or draw. And I think we have a group of young men that are continuing to fight. We have not mastered the things that we need to in order to come away with wins. We have our opportunities, we've had our moments, and we've fallen short in a number of areas. If you look back on Saturday against a very talented William & Mary team, we had opportunities in the scoring zones. We turned the ball over once on a gadget play. We took a sack in a situation where, absolutely cannot take a sack, which took potential points off the board. We gave up explosive plays very early, found ourselves in a deep hole defensively through lack of communication. And so all of those things are fixable. All of those things are, to some degree, a byproduct of lack of experience, new players being in various roles and whatnot. But we don't make excuses. We go out and we try our very best. We prepare the players that we have as best as we can. We let everyone know, this has not been a cupcake schedule. We play some very talented teams. I think of the FCS programs that we've played, only one has had a losing record, and that was Campbell. All the other teams have a winning record. We have several teams on the schedule that are ranked in the top 25 teams in the country. And so for me, it is allowing us to see what the benchmarks are, obviously understanding how important recruiting becomes and finding a way to add more to the team so that each Saturday we can go out and field a competitive team that has a chance to compete for championships. Now, William & Mary behind us. On to Villanova, another very talented team, veteran quarterback, skilled playmakers on the defensive side of the ball, veteran players at the linebacker position and in the secondary. They have a system that they've been running for multiple years. They know how to execute their system. They're finding ways to win closer games than they were involved in last year. Last year, they were producing a lot of points. They're producing points now, but not to the extent that they were doing. But I said to our staff, there's a way for us to be able to craft a game plan to put our players in the best position to go on the road and win at Villanova this week. And so that's our task, to take the players that we have, put them in position to take advantage of their God-given abilities and give them a chance to succeed. I think you saw from last week's game with Shamik having the breakout game that he had, that there's an opportunity to craft a plan in order to take advantage of the skill sets of our players. And that's been our task. That will be the task for our coaches going forward. So with that, I'll open the floor for any questions.
Coach, so far this year, Villanova looks like they've had one of the best defenses in the country. From what you've seen on film, what do you think are the main contributing factors to their success on defense?
Yeah, I mean, they have a system that they've been running for a multitude of years. They know how to attack people. It's a little bit unique, and it's this 3-3 stack odd front, and so they'll get into a variety of different pressure looks. They play a multitude of coverages. They'll get on body and play cover 2 man. They'll play drop 8 cover 2. They'll play variations of quarters, and they just do a really nice job of attacking the weaknesses of the opponent.
I know for much of the game this week against William and Mary, Thomas got in at quarterback. In terms of the quarterback situation, what are your thoughts right now? And in terms of the decision on playing time this week?
Yeah, so we went into the game with the mindset that we were going to play Braxton, and he's going to play this week. We've had the opportunity to play a lot of young players here over the last several weeks. You know, if you look offensively, Braxton played Saturday, Corbin Wilson, true freshman, Cortez Lane, true freshman. We have Noah Okoye and Tim Hammonds, 2 true freshman offensive linemen in the 2 deep. If you look at us defensively, you know, Christian Tyson, a local product, played his first game, got some time on defense and in the kicking game. Jaden Williams, true freshman, has played significant amount of time this season. Terrion George, who's second-year player, Josh Isaiah, second-year player, Cade Molitor, second-year player. They're all very young. And so we were getting significant game reps with them. But with that, you know, there's some growing pains that sometimes come with that youth.
So is that like a philosophical pivot to like do, I guess, a youth movement at this point in the season? Or is that by necessity? You just don't have anybody else?
Well, I mean, a combination of both. I mean, you know, we've experienced significant injuries on both sides of the ball, but we've said it from day one. We go into this with the next man up mentality, and sometimes that next man is, you know, is a true freshman. You know, if you go back and look at that William and Mary team, most of their better players have been there since 2019, 2021. You know, I was part of recruiting many of those kids. And so you got veteran players that have been within a system for a number of years. And that recipe usually works when you get your right kind of kids in the program. They understand what you're trying to do philosophically and schematically, and you build from there. And so recruiting becomes paramount to the long-term success of the program.
So in this current landscape of college football, do you still feel confident that if you recruit a high school player, you'll have a chance to have him matriculate for 3 years, 4 years?
I do. You know, there are no guarantees now. Like, college football landscape is constantly changing. You know, I was on a part of a call earlier where, you know, conversations about moving up the earliest date of the contest. You know, dollars are driving everything that's happening in college football. But I do believe that if you build a strong foundation, if you put things in place to make sure that the players have a great experience, that they'll want to stay. And this is a place where, you know, the academic reputation stands on its own. It's a great environment. It's the #1 HBCU in the country. There's a lot of reasons why when we get kids here, I think we'll be able to keep them.
Also, with the red shirt rule, I guess, can I go to, is it 4 games you're allowed to play without it costing eligibility?
Correct. So, so we have a number of kids that have not hit the 4-game threshold. Some will before the end of the season. I haven't personally had any kid come to me and say, well, Coach, you know, I want to save my red shirt, although that is a thing that's happening throughout college football right now. I think we're going to be in a pretty good shape for most of those true freshmen that we're counting on playing, because this will be, as we end up the season, their 4th game. So we'll be able to maintain their red shirt for most, not all.
So So Braxton Thomas, he'll probably still be a freshman come next year.
That's my hope. Yeah. He's already played in 2 games. Obviously, we got 3 games left, so it'll depend on how these last few games go.
Coach, in terms of Villanova offensively, just how would you describe the scheme they run and what you look to do to, stop their rushing attack?
Yeah, they're primarily an 11 personnel team. They will get into some 12. They're spread, read zone, like a lot of teams these days. They're very good with their screen game, the variety of ways to get the ball into the hands of their playmakers. As I mentioned, they got a veteran quarterback in Connor Watkins, who I think he's 5th, maybe 6th-year player. So he knows where to go with the ball. He does a good job of protecting the ball, not putting the ball in jeopardy. He's an excellent runner. So when you get down in the red zone, you got to account for him pulling the ball and keeping it down in the lower red zone. And, he knows how to get the ball to his playmakers.
Justin Farley, this season he's had flashes of brilliance. You've seen his arm talent. There's also some inconsistencies. We saw this past week, especially kind of when he got to the red zone. What do you take, I guess, what is your assessment of where he is, his development, and why is he having some of these troubles sometimes?
Yeah, we ask a lot for the quarterback position, and first and foremost is to protect the football. And most winning programs, you're going to get excellent quarterback play. If you look throughout the conference, everyone or just about everyone that has a winning record, they're getting really good quarterback play. The quarterback kind of understands how to distribute the ball, not put the offense behind the chains, get the ball into the hands of the playmakers. And Justin's had his moments throughout the course of the season, but he's also had some moments that he would tell you he'd like to have back. Saturday, the end of the first half was one of them. He knew like he couldn't take a sack in that moment, but yet it happened. And so no single play determines the outcome of the game, but they all add up to the outcome of the game. When a mistake here happens, a blown coverage here happens, miscommunication here happens, a missed block up on the offensive line happens. When you add it all up, that's what causes you to lose games.
What did he say, I guess, when he came off the field? Did he just lose track of the situation?
Yeah, well, he knew he had to get rid of the ball. He knew he had to get rid of the ball there.
And the trick play that resulted in the interception, is that kind of like a byproduct of you being frustrated by going, down, not scoring points, and you getting overly aggressive? How would you?
Yeah, I think in our conference, almost every offense, every week that I break down, they will give you some form of unusuals that we call them. So they'll give you empty. They'll give you unbalanced. They'll give you unbalanced FSL. They'll give you 3x1 FSL, and most will have a gadget of the week. And so I think offensively, we have to have the same ability to put defenses in stress, being able to go empty, unbalanced, 3x1 FSL. Oh, how are they going to align? If we know how they're going to align, then we can take advantage of how they align. And, the gadget play we worked throughout the course of the week, the communication, hey, if it's not there, don't force it. Pull the ball down and run it, and we'll live to play another down. And so in the heat of the moment, things happen, and kids make mistakes.
I'm assuming in practice that worked every time you tried it.
Well, it worked. I wouldn't say every time we tried it, but it worked. We felt confident in calling it in the game.
Coach, I know the running back position, there's been some, changes between different guys getting carries. Dalrymple had a lot of carries the last several games. Blizzard, a bigger game this past week. What does the running back position look like, and do you have an idea of how you want to use the carries this week?
Yeah, we'd like to get all the available guys that we have touches, and we got all the guys we had this past week touches. I felt like Shameik came out with a different level of energy, than he's shown throughout the course of the season. He ran with authority. He caught the ball. He got north and south, understanding where the sticks were on third down. Yeah, I think he really showcased the kind of back that he can be. And as I said to our staff, we did some things schematically to kind of put the ball in his hands. And that's the essence of coaching, not just saying, here's what I know how to do, that you're looking at ways to gain a strategic advantage based on what the defense gives you or what the offense gives you.
There was pressure on knowing what A&T football was before you ever creep into the back of your mind in a time like this?
I wouldn't say pressure. I mean, I want to win as bad as anyone. I'm here to win games, but I have a great understanding of where we are as a program right now and what we need in order to field a consistently competitive team. I think the foundation is being laid, has been laid, as to what the expectations are from an accountability standpoint of becoming educated men first and foremost, focused on our academics, learning how to do things at an excellent level. And as we transition to that, it doesn't always equate to immediate wins. It's about laying the foundation for long-term success.
As far as the foundation goes, would you say at this point, outside of wins and losses, are you on schedule, slightly behind schedule, really behind schedule? How would you assess it right now?
Yeah, I mean, if you throw out wins and losses, I feel really good about where we are. But you can't throw out the wins and losses because that's part of it. Just looking at how our guys dress, how they practice, how they carry themselves, how we travel, our strength and nutrition program, how they keep the locker room, how they address other people in a respectful manner. All those things to me are important and lay the groundwork for success long term.
Also, last week you mentioned there were some players who were still having to understand the importance of academics in coming class. From a APR standpoint, or how is that right now in your program? Is that an issue that you still need to look at?
We've gotten better. Things have drastically improved, but we still have some young guys that haven't quite learned what it is to be student athlete. And part of it is our program policy. Part of it is departmental policy. Here's what we're tasked with doing. And so we want to make sure we're in line with the university's overall mission of educating our young men.
Does Villanova present some of the same challenges as William and Mary did this past weekend?
I think so. They both have veteran quarterbacks. They have a system that they know how to execute. They have been within that program, so culturally, they have a strong foundation of success. Coach Ferrante does a tremendous job. He's an old offensive line coach, so the offensive line does a really good job. They have a variety of ways to scheme up the run game. And so I think if you look around the conference, nearly every week, you have to bring your absolute best in order to win.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to bring up Mr. Blizzard here. He had 132 yards on 20 carries, also had a touchdown, also had 3 receptions for 26 yards, so he had a great all-around game. He's going to come up, introduce himself, and then the floor is up for questions. Shmeek.
How y'all doing?
All right. I know a big breakout game, 132 yards, the most for any A&T rusher this season. What do you believe were the biggest keys to success in terms of the ground attack?
Definitely my offensive line, my tight ends. They did a really good job blocking for me, opening up holes. So they did a really good job doing that for me.
I know Coach mentioned your approach recently, gave positive feedback. I mean, what are some of the things you've done to bring the energy level up to maintain that enthusiasm?
Just being consistent in practice. I've been feeling real confident in my ability, so it showed on Saturday. Okay.
I guess, heading into Villanova, one of the top defenses in the conference, it appears. Just what have you seen from them on film, and how do you think that'll impact the ground game this week?
It's going to be a tough matchup. They're real aggressive all around defensively. So it's always going to be a tough matchup in the CAA.
For those that maybe, don't follow you, outside of football, even beyond, I mean, just how would you describe your student life here at A&T, what you have going on here at A&T?
Really just chill. I be chilling most of the time. Sometimes I go out every now and then, but for the most part, I love A&T, love the people that's here, and I want to stay here.
I know Coach Brown in the past has said that, during this stretch, he's asked players, what is your why? Why do you come out here? Would you be open to sharing your why and what drives you?
My why is my family, and they really drive me because they did everything they can to where I am today. So I really want to just give back to them one day.
I guess how would you describe your family's role and your development playing football and, what it means, in terms of that development?
Can you say that again?
In terms of your family and their impact on your development in football, just how would you describe kind of the role they played?
They did a really good job in molding me into the man I am. So I'll say that, yeah.
Are there any particular values you believe that have really, stayed with you, remained with you, being in college and whatnot?
Can you say that again?
Are there any particular values that have really stuck with you as you've, grown into a man and, gone into college and whatnot?
Just being myself mainly, staying grounded, staying humble. That's really who I am.
What do you believe will be the biggest keys in terms of this program, making a turnaround and, having a revival here?
For us, I feel like it's just being consistent. So a lot of times we don't finish games, and I feel like that's really our downfall. We don't finish games. I feel like we're too complacent in the games, whether we're up or down. So, yeah, just got to learn how to finish.
Thank you, Shamik. Great job, man. Our final player for this afternoon is Mitchell Etheridge III. He'll come up, introduce himself, his hometown major, those type of things, and then the floor is open for questions. Mitchell.
Hey everyone, Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.
My name is Mitchell Etheridge III. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I'm a senior here, major in kinesiology, and I play outside linebacker.
Coach mentioned the read option. Obviously, that edge is important when defending the option game. Just what are your keys out there this week, and what are you looking for?
We have to play with good eyes. Being out there on the edge, you can get nosy, want to take the running back when our job is to have the quarterback. And if we take the running back and the quarterback pulls it, then nobody has the outside. And with that bit that falls in on us, so we have to execute and do our understand our responsibility and do our job.
I know you mentioned being from Birmingham and whatnot. I mean, just how would you describe your journey growing up in Birmingham and what that was like playing football there?
Playing football in Alabama is a big thing, growing up, everybody wants to go play at Alabama, go play at Auburn. So we all put our all into football. There's been a lot of great players from my city of Birmingham to go play in the league, and we look up to those people. So playing football has had helped me out, gave me an opportunity to get a good education and play the game I love to play.
In terms of North Carolina A&T, I mean, what were the biggest key factors in terms of deciding on the Aggies?
I transferred. When I entered the transfer portal, I knew I wanted to attend an HBCU. I talked to plenty of HBCUs in the transfer portal. When Coach Wash and his staff gave me the call, I immediately came on a visit that weekend, And when I came to A&T, I liked it. I loved it. And I thought, why not go to the #1 HBCU in America? And now I'm here.
For those that maybe haven't seen you play, just how would you describe your skill set and how you contribute to this team?
I feel like as I'm a leader on the team, I'm a vocal leader sometimes. And my play style, I'm more of a pass rusher. I'm still working on getting more physical and stopping the run, but I'm more of a speed rusher. I like to attack the quarterback, and I like to have fun on the field.
I know this position, there's been a lot of rotation on the, the front, defensive line, linebackers, etc. Just how would you describe the dynamic you've had this year from start to finish in terms of the season?
Everybody's has to be ready to play. You never know when your number's going to be called. Like Coach said, we have next man mentality. So when you have to call, when it's your time to go in the game, you have to execute. If we don't execute, we can't win. So execution is a big part of our success right now that we haven't been doing. And if we want to win, we have to execute.
In terms of beyond the football field, what are some of your biggest hobbies and passions outside of football?
I like to play the video game. I've started like to paint. I like to paint sometimes, keep me cool, keep me calm and collective. Other than that, I'm a student. I want to be a physical therapist one day or become a chiropractor. So I'm in my studies. And other than that, I'm playing football.
I guess you mentioned your career desires. Is there anything in particular that influenced your want to either do physical therapy or chiropractic?
My athletic trainer in high school, we became real close, and I watched the stuff that he did, and I knew it was something that I liked to do, and I didn't really want to become an athletic trainer, and I had looked more into it, and I thought about I wanted to become a physical therapist, and now here we are.
Would you be open to sharing their name, the name of the athletic trainer?
Travis Bales. Travis, yeah, that was his name.
Do you happen to know how to spell their last name?
I think Bayles, something like that. Yeah.
Gotcha. And I guess you mentioned painting as a something that kind of calms you and whatnot. How did you get into that, and how has it paid dividends for you?
My older sister, she's very artistic. She knows to make a lot of certain things, and sometimes she told me to paint, and I tried it one time, and it helped me stay calm, cool, keeps me down, and that's something I enjoy to do now.
Coach, do you confirm the calmness of them?
I do. Thank you, Mitchell. Appreciate it, man. Great job. All righty, let's grab some lunch. Let's get ready for our radio show, and